I'm Gold Derby News and Features Editor Ray Richmond, and I'm welcoming James Renfroe from the new Apple TV Plus comedy Shrinking to our TV Editors Meet the Experts panel. James, I know you worked on all the odd episodes, odd in terms of number, not tone, episodes 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. How did that schedule fall into place?
Well, I got a reach out from the line producer, Kip, who I'd worked with on a pilot 5 years ago or so that Bill was also a writer producer on. Brett Goldstein actually was in it as an actor pre-Ted Lasso. And so, yeah, I got a call saying the project was coming up in April. I didn't get a script, but was excited to work with them. I found out during that interview that James Consult was the director, who I went to high school with and played baseball with. So that was a surprise and fun. I'd been sort of itching to work with him, and to have the excuse was a nice opportunity. And then they shot the pilot, and then Block shot the rest of the series. With the 9 and 10 ended up being solos, I guess, but I tried to switch to the evens after the pilot, just to sort of be selfish, but they didn't let me do it. If I could get away with the pilot and the finale, I was going to try.
Yeah, didn't quite happen. Well,
No.
Just to fill everyone in, Shrinking stars Jason Segel as a therapist grieving the recent death of his wife in a car accident, and struggling to find his way as a single dad and a professional. Its very talented cast includes Harrison Ford. Oh my God. James, what were the obstacles?
My thoughts exactly.
Oh my God, one more time. Exactly. You're editing a show with Harrison Ford.
I had photos of me with Harrison Ford on my monitors. It was like, I couldn't get past it. Didn't know about him when I said yes to the project either. So it was just like, it just kept leveling up.
Wow.
My interest and the quality of the
well, that's why
project.
that's when you're a kid, that's your dream come true, and finally came true as an adult. What were the obstacles for you in trying to find the rhythm and pacing of Shrinking while cutting the early episodes in particular?
Pace was really the biggest thing. We did a lot of dirty overs, so like getting time out was relatively difficult and ultimately expensive. We did a lot of split screens for visual effects and stuff to sort of move things along. But the tone sort of was like present already. Credit to Jason Segel, who helped develop the project and is a lead on it. He crushed it. Watching him in dailies was really impressive. There were a lot of single camera stuff where I remember in episode 7 in particular, there's like a wake up sequence in the morning, and in that they only had the one camera, so they would shuffle the camera around, and he would have to remember all of the improv he had just done, and body positioning as he was waking up with Jessica, who plays the character Gabby. And it was just it was an instance in one small scene, but throughout up to that point, he was like constantly really professional on set. He was really guiding the other actors when we ever had the like montage sequence that's in that pilot. He was great with sort of feeding them and then getting stuff out of them. So that was like a really impressive to watch. And then, otherwise, we ran into some stuff sort of early on. Those first episodes really were like the struggle. The 1 through 3 were for time and pace. But after that, we reshot some stuff that helped elevate the tone a little bit so that it wasn't quite so depressing. And added a little bit of comedy, and then and then by the time we were into that 4 or 5, the 4 script was really funny. The 5 script sort of gave a lot of opportunity for growth in the story and stuff. But once we got to that point, things start to ease up a little bit. Bill is like working with him is like a masterclass in editing. So getting him in the room, we sort of cut everything, and then he was doing, Ted Lasso, a Vince Vaughn show that's going to be coming out, I guess, at some point, and then and then Shrinking. So getting his attention was difficult, but once we got it, it was great to have.
I would imagine it might be challenging to find the editing sweet spot of a series that so seamlessly blends, the elements of comedy and pathos, and that goes for laughs, but also very much wears its heart on its sleeve. The intense emotional moments undercut with comedy. That's a challenge for sure for an edit.
Yeah, it was part of the task was like keeping things, or when we were finding that ultimate pace, it was finding the ability to let things breathe so that we felt the emotion. I think Bill at one point was like, I want to punch somebody in the gut with emotion and then make them laugh after, or make them laugh and then punch. But either way, in each of our emotional scenes, in each of these emotional moments, the slushy scene between Jason's character and Luke's character near sort of towards the end of the pilot. You've got them having this slushy, and he's like revealing how his relationship with his wife ended, and still there's opportunities for jokes in that scene. So it was a nice challenge, and it was a pleasure to work on it. For me in particular, my comedy background, the scripts are funny, right? Like so that somebody can laugh in an episode shouldn't be a surprise. That should be like the bar. And then to get the audience to care about the characters, I think is the difference between having them show up every week and not. And I think we really did a good job of landing those characters. And Jimmy's character in particular, that first episode, he's a terrible person. He's at a terrible point in his life. He's bad as a dad, bad as a person relatively, and certainly bad at his career. And so to see his growth and to see that evolution of his throughout the series and having it established in the pilot, I thought was
yeah. Jimmy is just coming unglued for sure, and you just want to shake him. And we as the audience, though, I think, James, really care about these characters very early on, which is a testament, I think, to the care you also put into your cuts and making sure that you didn't shortchange the empathy. What was it about the pilot in particular that made you decide to submit that for Emmy consideration?
The producers told me to.
That'll do it.
I mean, I think that's a big part of it. It was 1 or 7. 7, I thought, was also like you're far enough down into the story that the stuff plays, and I thought the opening sequence of that played really well. The benefit of the pilot is that it really does establish the show. The exchange with Jimmy and Alice at the end, tease up sort of this I don't know, difference between how he says it later in the season versus there at the beginning of the season. It was like, I can't be around you because you look so much like your mom. At the end of the season, it's there's like a pride and a love there and an affection that's there. And I think the montage of him running through the stuff, the interview montage, there's a lot of like editorial stuff that feels, that was like fun to do. That's present in the pilot that I think separates it from some of the other stuff. But yeah, I mean, the truth is I enjoyed working on all of the shows. So it was hard to pick, yeah.
You do a great job, James. That's all the time we have. Best of luck at the forthcoming Emmys. Shrinking is currently streaming. It's 10 episodes, season 1 over at Apple TV+. Thanks for joining us at Gold Derby, sir.
Thanks for having me.